Vikings, let's win this game. Skol Vikings, honor your name. Go get that first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em, fight, 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 fight. Go Vikings, run out the score. You hear us yell for more. V-I-K-I-N-G-S. Skol Vikings, let's go.
Hammer like you.
Viking Nation, prepare to enter Valhalla with the most entertaining podcast of the Minnesota Vikings. And now, Odin's Den with A-Train and the Hammer.
This is Nate Wright, and you're now listening to Odin's Den.
Not Thor's bedroom, Odin's Den. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. If you were sad we didn't have an episode last week, I apologize. Hammer, it's all the Hammer's fault, really. So you can blame him.
A-Train, how the hell are you?
Point the finger at him. Doing pretty good. Victory Sunday, Victory Monday, whenever you're listening or whatnot. We're recording on Sunday after the game here. It's about 5 p.m. Central Standard Time in sunny Fargo, North Dakota.
My apologies for actually having to work this past week when I thought I was going to have the week off.
Yeah. How far in advance did you ask for that off?
A little over 3 months.
Oh, that's cool.
And the week before, they kind of said, yeah, we're not able to give any drivers any time off right now.
Man, I would be pissed. I mean, it's not like you had anything super important to do, but you were just hanging out in town. We were going to watch the game and do the pod carts, blah, 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 blah. It's not like you had some trip planned or, man, imagine if you had like a little vacation. You were getting on a flight. I'd be like, no, fuck you. I'm taking this trip. Hire another fucking guy. Like,
no, you're absolutely right.
I would be irate, man.
I was a little angry at the time.
Yeah.
I'm mostly over it now. What I was the most angry about was just that it also prevented me and you really from going on the Purple Pain forums and live chatting during that Seahawks game a week ago. I was looking forward to that.
We can still do that. If you take your laptop to your dad's place and I'm just at home watching the game, we could still, in theory, do that from our own separate computer-madors.
Oh, my dad would hate that.
If you're sitting on your laptop?
Me sitting on my laptop at his house during the game? He wouldn't like that at all.
I could easily be on my computer and be watching. Half the time I'm just dinking around in my place anyway while the game's going on. It's really hard for me these days to just sit down and watch a full 3-hour football game, just focused, have my attention the entire time, every second of the game.
See, how is that hard for you?
I just can't do it. I can't do it.
I don't get your inability to do that.
I don't know. I guess I've done it a lot, and I just...
No, you have. I've done it a lot. You haven't done that a lot.
Well, you've done it a lot more than me, but...
I have seen many more Viking games in my life than you have, sir.
It's just other things... I want to be doing other things with my time, not just sitting there watching TV. I don't watch much TV anyway, unless it's a show that really interests me.
Is there much besides Vikings football that's really worth doing?
Well, no, but
okay.
At the same time, it's still like hard to keep my attention sometimes. There's other stuff to do. There's other things going on. There's things I want to do. There's blah, 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 blah.
I don't understand it, but all right, we can move on.
Maybe I just have better things to do than you.
Well, that could be.
And then you just like, ho-hum, here's a Vikings game. It's the only thing I have to do right now. I'm a shaker, mover, and a shaker, baby.
Sure you are.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Hammer likey.
But you can just sit and watch over at your dad's. That's why I like that condensed version of the game. I sit down, I commit 40 minutes. I have to pay attention every snap because it goes quick. I watch that. I try to watch that the entire time. I'll give you that full 40 minutes of my constant attention the entire time. But 3 hours, stupid fuck commercials, bullshit, timeouts, people get hurt, cut to another game, Pizza Hut commercial, I don't give a flying fuck, man.
That's fine.
I want to do other shit with my time, dude.
You don't have to be staring intently at the commercials.
Oh, trust me, I don't. I watched the game today and I paid attention to about half of the 3 hours. I was intently paying attention to about half of the 3 hours. Because I'm just chatting with my buddies. We're goofing around, blah, 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 blah. We're eating some chili, blah, 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 blah.
Ah, yes, because you are a mover and shaker.
Correct. Because I watched the game with my friends. Not my dad.
Well, aren't you just special over there?
God.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
Oh, just so hip over there, A-Train.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's episode 99. We're one off of a century. It's Danielle's episode. He set a record today. My God.
Danielle Hunter gets our game ball for the day, right?
Yeah, we might as well just get into that right now. Yes, he gets our game ball. It's literally his labeled episode. We'll play his player focus.
Oh, beautiful.
He hit 50 career sacks at 25 years old, 25 years and 40 days old, making him the youngest player in NFL history to reach that mark. The record was previously held by Robert Quinn, who reached 50 career sacks at 25 and 167 days old. So kind of a barely got it, but got it nonetheless. But yes, I digress. Welcome back. Sorry for the week off. Hammer was indisposed. I thought about just doing a short update / giveaway promotion, kind of just a internal promotional episode anyway, not really recapping the game, but just kind of checking in with everybody and talking about some things with Odin's Den. Just a little 15-minute episode. Didn't do it. But yes, either way, right now we do have some stuff on sale over in the store. Are getting diggy with it. It's only like $14. We got a few shirts on TeePublic. I posted that on the social media. They're only like $14 shirts, so that's pretty sweet.
As I understand it, Ronster was not available.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, fair enough.
Correct. I mean, it really wasn't that type of a situation anyway. We didn't have a lot of time to find another co-host, but to me, it really wasn't that big of a deal to find another co-host per se. I'm not going to sit here and do an hour recap by myself. I have zero interest in doing that. So I just wanted to do a short one or probably nothing anyway. So it ended up being nothing and whatever. I don't think anybody was too heartbroken or crying, but either way, we're back. Thank you for listening. Those of you who do tune in, telling a friend and listening. We have had a few people sign up for the fan chest giveaway. We have had a handful. Kind of interesting to see them come in. One, we've had a couple of foreign countries.
Oh, wow.
I think I mentioned this to you maybe yesterday when I saw you. We had one come in from Norway, which makes me laugh and is awesome.
Yeah, I hope that guy wins.
Not quite sure if I can honestly ship this internationally. But either way, it's cool to see entries. I didn't specify U.S. only, so that's kind of my bad. But either way, I saw one coming from Norway. Shout out to you if you're listening. I won't say any more details than that. Probably doesn't really matter, but
I think I'm over 50% Norwegian, so
yeah, well,
beautiful.
A lot of people in North Dakota and Minnesota are of Norwegian descent per se, potentially, or German. A lot of Germans rocking around too. Maybe some Dutch. Because you know what they say, if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much.
Oh, my dad's grandparents were named Oli and Ida.
I don't know how much more fucking Norse you can get than that. Don't you know?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Some left so Oli, don't you know? Yeah, and we also had an entry from Australia as well. There was an address, and I said to myself, what the fuck is that? Because it's not in the U.S., so I Googled it, and it's actually in Australia. So that's cool to see.
When are we announcing the winner?
Shout out to Australians. Thank you for listening. I will probably wrap up this giveaway this upcoming Friday, December 13th. I'll wrap this up. Everybody who's entered. That's why I kind of wish I would have at least just promoted that again last week, if not much else.
Well, there's nothing stopping you.
No, there wasn't. So if you hear this episode, if you're listening to this episode, you can still go get signed up. The way to sign up stays the same. You go to odinsdenpodcast.com/giveaway. I believe that was the link. I'm always questioning myself, so let me go double check real quick. But odinsdenpodcast.com/give Giveaway, Giveaway. It'll take you right to the December fan chest giveaway. You fill out a quick form, and that enters you. So, again, kind of last chance to get signed up. It's December 8th right now. I'll run this till the 13th. Hopefully a few more people sign up. We don't have too many entries, I will say, at this point. But this was supposed to be a fun little rewarding experiment for people who do listen anyway. But sign up. It doesn't take very long at all. I know I don't make it easy making you type in a link, but it's still worth it. This will be like a $70 worth of Viking fan chest that will be shipped to your door from us here at Odin's Den to say thank you for listening to our little humble pod cart. But yes, Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees' favorite day. You have till then to sign up. I will announce the winner that next episode. We'll probably record it on the December Sunday 15th, the 15th. What have you?
Next
or is that
the 15th,
the Green Bay?
Well, no, that's the 3:00
game.
game.
Yeah. That's the Chargers game. Yeah, so we'll record
game.
Monday then.
We're probably gonna have to record Monday night.
So we'll announce it. Regardless, we'll announce it that podcast week. So the 16th, I'll announce the winner then, and we will. Well, I don't know how much information the winner wants given out about their name. Either way, we will announce it and get that shipped over to you. So yeah, that'll be fun. It's fun doing things like that, especially for the holiday season. I do like giving. But yeah.
And Purple Pain.
Correct. And Purple Pain Forums. I was just going to get to that. Of course, like usual, our quick shout out to purplepainforums.com. Go check them out. Chat with other fans. Talk about the game. Talk about things in general. Check out our area on there if you want. Call us dumb. Call us whatever you want to call us.
You can be honest. You forgot about Purple Pain, didn't you?
No, I didn't. It's right here on my sheet. It's right here
Okay.
on my sheet, man. That hasn't changed in months. I put it on my little show outline, and it hasn't changed in months. Yes, I use an outline. If your podcast doesn't, get a grip. All right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and I think we could just go ahead and get into the news then. We've done enough rambling already.
Sounds good.
All right. Here we go.
Back from battle with a Vikings update.
Skol, you mother truckers, skol. Man, it's a good day today. It's a good day today. All right, so let's cover everything since the last episode. Let's see. What
I don't know
happened?
if we've ever covered even waiving Josh Dotson, the wide receiver.
We didn't. I believe we covered activating him. That was 11:15.
Yeah, 11:15. Yeah, we covered
should have
that.
covered that. Activating
It's been
him.
2 weeks since we recorded. I don't
Correct.
think we've gotten to Josh Dotson getting cut.
Nope,
Anyway,
probably not.
I'll let you take it.
Well, we waived him. We waived his ass. I should just make you do this part so you earn your keep around here. Otherwise, why else do I give you Burger King coupons?
Oh, you want me to go through this?
Yeah, you do the roster moves.
Okay, well, on
Filthy
November
animal.
26th, after we cut Josh Dotson, we signed linebacker Cameron Smith to the 53.
Mm-hmm.
I could give or take that guy. I don't know. What do you think?
The heat-seeking missile that never actually hits its target?
Well, judging from, 2 preseason games where that happened, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, sure. I would have preferred to keep Marcus Epps around, but he got,
you said you're crying over
he got
Epps, yeah.
claimed. But anyway.
You're crying over him, yep.
So Cam Smith is back on the 53, and to take his place on the practice squad, we signed fullback Johnny Stanton.
Ah, solid name.
Well, he was a guy that I believe got injured in the preseason the year before last. So a name from the past, a guy that has some experience with the team.
Mm-hmm. Interesting
move. I guess also since we lost Blasingame a while back.
Best name ever.
Yeah. Well, that's the guy we've lost I'm the most upset about right now.
You are heartbroken.
I didn't like losing Blasingame at all, but we got Johnny Stanton back, so we do have a fullback on the practice squad.
Hammer likey.
I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ben Gideon, he got
hurt
on IR.
Concussion, right?
It was a concussion, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's on IR, and we brought Alex Hollins to take his spot on the 53, rookie wide receiver. And then a couple days ago, we signed linebacker Richard Clayette back to the practice squad. Another guy that's been with the team for a couple seasons in preseason anyway.
Who?
What the hell is that?
Who? Who the hell?
He's not a bad practice squad guy. I'm a little surprised he's not on someone else's practice squad so we could sign him, actually.
Maybe he's not
respectable
so good.
player, I think.
Maybe he's not so good. I don't know.
Well, the Ben Gideon injury, I thought kind of him going on IR pretty much happened at the worst possible time. That Seahawks game, I think that was the game we missed him the most. I mean, they were just running up and down the field on us, and that's what Gideon is good at, is stuffing the run.
Right.
Him
so you
not
think we're
being on
really
the field-
lacking that hard at linebacker without Ben Gideon?
Well, he's a run stuffer, though, and we really needed a run stuffer that day.
And Hendricks and Eric Hendricks. I combined Eric and Kendricks into Hendricks, so Eric Kendricks isn't.
Nicely done, A-Train.
Thank you. It's a great.
Well, Eric Kendricks is good against the run, but man, that Seahawks game, they were just pounding it right down our throats.
All right.
We needed some size at the linebacker spot that day, and didn't have it because Gideon was out.
Right.
But that's the news.
Well, and then I thought that Chad Beebe getting surgery news, that just happened within the last week as well, didn't it?
He went to season-ending IR because he was eligible to maybe come back off the IR, but then he had
a surge.
Season-ending surgery.
Yep, and I think he's in a boot now or something, so that sucks for our boy Beebe, who gave us a shout-out. But we will see you next season, sir.
Well,
bon voyage, old friend.
The Chad Beebe shout-out was nice. But I was standing right next to Nate Wright when he gave me that shout-out that you played at the top of the show.
Oh, you mean this one?
This is Nate Wright, and you're now listening to Odin's Den.
Well, yeah, you've eaten pizza with him. You played chess with him.
He said that into my phone.
He spit all over it, didn't he?
No, he did not.
All over your phone.
But to get that drop, you needed me to have him, call you on my phone and have him say that into your answering machine is kind of how you wanted to do that.
My answering machine? What is this, the fucking 90s?
That's what it was.
Answering machine? What, I got a tape I got to play it?
What, voicemail? Is that what you want me to call it?
Yes.
All right, whatever.
Well, see, anybody else with a tiniest bit of non-caveman technology wouldn't have just done a phone call into a voicemail, but I digress.
Well, you actually asked me to do it that way, though, so...
Yeah, knowing you probably couldn't do anything else. I mean, you could just open up Facebook, go to the messenger, hit the little record, and just been like, here, say it, and it just would have sent me a little audio clip. Probably a higher quality audio clip, too.
Well, whatever.
There'll be another chance.
But Nate Wright was standing right next to me, and he said that into my phone.
I want you to interview him, and you can avoid the stupid subject, the old past subject that he doesn't want to talk about. Otherwise, I think it'd be great to just sit down with the dude and just get to know him better. Most of Vikings Nation probably doesn't know him that well, just where he came from, his roots, where he went to school, what he's up to these days.
A lot of that stuff you can kind of Google anyway.
His days with the team. There's not as much info about him out there as some of the other bigger name players. I could talk to a lot of Vikings fans and say Nate Wright, and they'd probably be like, huh?
Oh, I don't know. It might be a generational thing. A lot of younger Viking fans might not be super familiar with them. Just
like a lot of younger ones probably aren't super familiar with Tommy Kramer, who was in this area in November. He was over at that bar over here like a week or I think that was just last Saturday or the Saturday before. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Tommy Kramer were in Fargo on the same Saturday.
Well, I didn't know Ted DiBiase was in town.
He was here for that college Hawaii Maui Bash or whatever it's called. There's like some college football March Madness type of thing. They just have these little random offshoot events. And he was here for that over at our Holiday Inn or whatever.
One of the best bad guys in old school wrestling ever.
Everybody's got a price.
Well, that laugh of his, too. Such an evil laugh. He did good with it.
Yeah, he did. Anyway, maybe you can get more out of Nate Wright one day without pushing too far, pushing too many buttons, but I think it'd still be good to get a little bit more out of him. Even just a little 10-minute sit down.
Or at the very least, get more pictures, I suppose.
No, nobody wants to see your face.
That's true.
All
right, player focus.
But I'm glad you finally got to learn how to call a voicemail with your phone.
Happy learned how to putt. Uh-oh.
All right, so
I do what I can.
I got one more news segment.
Oh, whoops.
That's interesting and sad and funny all at the same time. This came out of fox9.com. It almost seems like an Onion article. There's an obituary that reads, Plymouth man dies after the Vikings allowed 17 unanswered points.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, that's what the headline said.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad, but it kind of makes you laugh at the same time. There was an older gentleman who was surrounded by family, and he was watching Monday Night Football, and then apparently passed away after we didn't do too hot in the game. Maybe a coincidence. Maybe him finally giving up on his favorite team that always lets us down as fans. Maybe a little bit of both.
I'm sure
Either
it was
way,
a coincidence.
Probably a coincidence.
I'm betting he was a hardcore enough Viking fan that his family and friends figured that must be how he would want it to be.
Watching
reported.
a Vikings game.
You know.
Right. But it probably didn't help. You think it helped his morale, his demeanor, his seeing that happen probably didn't help. Kind of like they say that like a dog will, or like one person waits, and then once like somebody passes away, then like a significant other does soon after, stuff like that.
I'm sure it didn't help.
Right,
I doubt that it broke his will to live either, though.
Depends on how big of a Vikings
he was an
fan
older gentleman, right?
I think so, yeah.
I'm betting.
Yeah,
it's
he
a little
was.
more
It's
of
not
a
like he was like
coincidence.
50 or anything.
A little more of a coincidence, but that headline kind of
it was clickbait
makes it
as
sound
fuck.
like he.
Everything these days is clickbait as fuck. And if you do that, fuck you. If you go to Odin's Den, like our blog articles and stuff, I've never tried to get somebody to click on one of our articles just by saying something crazy and off the wall or unbelievable or, oh, I got to check this out.
So
I
you're
hate
not
that
Skip
shit.
Bayless, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I hate that shit. It's so funny watching him melt down on Twitter when he watches the Cowboys play.
Well, I think it's even more fun to reduce his drops to the mayor of Munchkinland.
Yes, that was good.
That was a good drop.
That is a fan favorite,
An
apparently.
Alvin and the Chipmunk style.
That is a fan favorite, according to two people.
We'll have to play that again.
You and Funky Town like it a lot.
Oh, we'll have to play that drop again at some point.
Fan favorite. Anyway, I think that's all. Anything else for the news?
No, let's get into the player focus.
All right, here we go. It's episode 99.
Perfect.
Mr. Record Setter himself. I figured it'd be good to dust it off. It's been a while. We definitely haven't played it this season so far. I kind of looked. So yeah, here we go.
Vikings player focus.
Number 99, Danielle Hunter. This young superstar defensive end was born in St. Catherine, Jamaica, and moved to the U.S. when he was 8 years old. He grew up in Katy, Texas, and attended Morton Ranch High School. He was chasing down another boy who was trying to get away on roller skates and got signed up for youth football. This is probably the best thing roller skates have ever done. As a junior, he led his football team to their first Class 5A state playoff appearance, even though he was playing defensive end for the first time as a freshman due to not cutting it as a wide receiver. As a senior, he tallied 30 QB pressures, 11 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. He has always been a natural athlete beyond compare in everything he did. He was regarded as a 4-star recruit by Rivals.com and was ranked the 14th best defensive end in Scout.com. He moved on to crushing skulls at Louisiana State University, where he played in 38 games with 23 starts in 3 years. After stacking up 142 tackles, he decided to forgo his final season at LSU and declared for the 2015 NFL Draft. Hunter was the fastest among all the D-linemen in that draft and was compared to Jason Pierre-Paul of the New York Giants. He was selected by the Minnesota Vikings in the 3rd round of the 2015 NFL Draft, 88th pick overall.
As a rookie in 2015, he was the youngest player in the NFL, but quickly earned a role on the defense. After his first 2 seasons, he had 18.5 career sacks and 4 games where he had at least 1.5 sacks. Since 1985, only Keith Millard and Kevin Williams registered more sacks than Hunter in the first 2 NFL seasons with the Vikings. Danielle is just one awesome piece of our amazing defense and will be a staple of this team for years to come. Skol Vikings.
All right. Wasn't that great, Hammer, your favorite part?
Very nicely done.
Did you enjoy how I was just circling my last 2 wins in the prediction game?
Yes.
You son of a bitch. I've never been leading by 2 before. You need to do a sweep of the next 3 games to earn that sandwich, boy.
Now, with that Seahawks game, I got the outcome right, but your score prediction was still closer than mine.
But remember, who wins doesn't fucking matter.
No, I know. No,
because it's a score prediction game, not a pick the winner game.
I benefited.
I see that now.
Yes,
I used to feel like picking the right winner should have counted for something, but now I understand.
Yeah. I benefited from that last year, so it's only fair.
Yes, correct.
God, I've been slumping in our prediction game. You're up by 2 now with 3 weeks left. Ugh.
You know, when you said 34-20 for the Lions game, for this Lion, or no, sorry, when you said,
we texted each other, yeah. We didn't have a podcast episode where we said that because we didn't have an episode.
Well, I wrote the names wrong on accident, but you said 34-20.
I
said
texted you. Yeah, I
17.
texted you a day or 2 ago saying, "Hey, it's my turn to go first in the prediction game.
Right.
I'll say Vikings win 34-20," and then
34 to what the fuck? Man?
And then you responded saying 20. What was it? 26-17.
You gave the Lions too much credit, and you gave us a little too much credit too.
Well, I was remembering the last game we played him where we beat him 42-30. I think it was. And our D looked so bad against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks the week before. I was like, well, I'll maybe give him 20 then.
All right.
I was off.
Yeah. It was what's like 17-0, and I was like, all right, I got this because 0 is closer to 17 than 26.
Well, if they would have kept that pace, like if the Vikings would have won 34-0, I actually would have won because I had the Vikings at 34 and you had them at 26. I would have been 8 points.
But then if the Lions scored 0 and you said 20,
but
you're 20 points off.
But you said 17, you'd be 17 points off.
Closer than you.
Yeah, you would have been. You would have been 3 points closer on the Lions, and I would have been 8 points closer on the Vikings.
You wouldn't have earned that. You wouldn't have earned that at all.
Well, whatever.
You would have been a
says
turkey. You would have been a fucking Thanksgiving turkey. All right, you would have been
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
That would have been you, sir. That would have been you. Anyway, yeah, so we didn't get a chance to recap the Seahawks game yet. We don't really have to go into it, but
it was a time of possession loss.
Yeah.
That's really all I want to say about it at this point.
Obviously everybody knows by now anyway. It was 30-37. Yeah, it was 30-37. Losing by 7 points. It's one of those games where we've had so many times. I feel like we've had this game so many times. Oh, we did good. We could have just done a little better. It was close. We were in it with them. We were right there with them. This is a good team. We were right there though. Could have won, but didn't. I feel like that's been so many fucking games the last few years against good teams. We're just right there. We're just not good enough to pull off that
time
W.
of possession was nowhere close, though. It was almost a 2-1 edge for Seattle.
Yeah.
They were running the ball against us. We couldn't stop it all day. As a Viking fan, that's regardless of who the opponent is, that's always my biggest fear every week. Those are the games I hate the most. Or
them running all over us?
Running
with
over,
the run?
Just time of possession and just seeing our defense having to cover 10-minute drives and just sitting there going, oh, when are we going to get the ball back?
But that's funny that you say that that's a worry because I feel like usually it has, in the Zimmer era, that hasn't been a worry. We've always had a fairly stout run D, a good D overall, and an even better front and run D.
Well, this is just from me as a fan personally because I care about time of possession a lot.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with pitch counts in baseball. Like when I'm watching a Twins game, I'm paying super close attention to both teams' starting pitchers' pitch counts. I'm always wanting the other team's pitcher to have to, throw 30 pitches every inning. And I'm always hoping our pitcher gets through it, 10 pitches per inning and just breezes through. And when the Twins are playing another team, I'm always hoping the other team's starting pitcher by the end of the day, nothing but a pair of cleats and a dislocated shoulder.
Just gas to shit and back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it's the same thing with time of possession with me. I'm just kind of obsessed
gas the
with
shit
it.
out of there, D. Keep the ball the whole time.
Yeah, that's always
Right.
what I want.
Right. Well, yeah, it's kind of one of those obvious things. We want to run the ball well. We want to pass here and there.
It's a quirk, I would say. It's a quirk on my part. Just that
You love that TOP.
I hate when the TOP is that much against us.
I love it when we don't have it and we still win.
No, I love it when we have it and we win.
But you don't have to have it to win.
It's much preferred.
Yeah, I know. A lot higher percentage rate of winning if we have that
It's a
in our
lot
favor.
less chance of a defensive injury when they're on the field, that much less.
I'm sure if you look at all the games that we play, I'm sure if you look at like 100 games that we play, the ones where we're leading time of possession and we win, I'm sure it's like 70-30, maybe even 80-20. I'm sure it's a very high percent of winning TOP means winning the game versus winning
68%,
not winning TOP
I believe.
and still winning.
We were fact checked by Rain Man from Purple Pain.
Oh yes,
where it was 68% of the time of possession winner wins the game.
So I was right saying 70-30. All right, well,
pretty close.
I wanted to give it even. I was trying to give it even more, or tighten it up even more. But yeah, 70.
That's all I want to say about the Seahawks game. There anything you want to say?
I mean, honestly, didn't really catch too much of it. Kind of the major pieces, but yeah, we were in it. We didn't look horrible. I mean,
it was
the
a
defense
decent
wasn't
fourth
great.
quarter comeback attempt.
Right. But again, why do we keep?
Well, the third quarter,
we either lead and hold, or usually we're not that great. Besides the Broncos game, we're usually not that great at coming back.
We were ahead at halftime of the Seahawks game.
Yeah,
the third
not
quarter,
by
the
much.
wheels just came off.
Yeah,
17-10 at halftime.
Remember, switch flip, one or the other.
Yeah.
Good quarter, bad quarter. Good half, bad half. Yeah, I still stand by that theory, and I can't wait to see a Vikings team one day, maybe in my lifetime, that's just consistent across the board, and we don't have a fucking flipped switch.
Dare to dream.
Dare to dream. Do you have anything else to say about the offense or the defense in the Seahawks game besides the defense?
No, let's talk about
Besides people calling for Rhodes' head lately as in general, and
No, well, Xavier Rhodes would get my turd of the day for that Seahawks game. How about you?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, he had that
would
penalty
agree.
out of bounds, a stupid
agree.
penalty, and gave up literally every single time a ball was thrown his way, gave up a catch.
I would agree.
Well,
All
anyway,
right.
let's talk about the
Let's
Lions
get into the
game.
Lions game. It just happened today. Of course, we won if you're living under a Gallahorn.
20-7.
Yes, 20-7. Almost a fucking shutout. Literally, what, four minutes left in the fourth quarter, something like that, and they scored?
2, I think, 2.5.
Little
something.
garbage time TD like usual. We usually let one in right at the fucking end. In a way, who cares? At the same time, it would have been nice to get a shutout. But yeah, it's really not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. We still beat their ass. We still did good, but
I wanted the shutout.
I did too. Everybody did, man. Everybody did. Again, Thielen did not play. He didn't practice all week and didn't play. Do you think at this point we're just saying, rest, we want you for the playoffs?
Maybe the Packer game. Rest up and try to be be
Yeah.
ready for that Packer game when the game we really need to win.
I'm really not worried about the Chargers. I'm not necessarily worried about the next 3 games. I think they're all winnable.
I think they're all going to be Viking wins.
Versus going into the Seahawks, versus going into a big, the Saints, the ones that really make you worry. We don't
Question
have a good
is,
track record.
Will 12-4 be good enough to win the division or not?
Very good question.
That's
very
hard
good
to
question.
say.
Very
it's
good
hard to say
question.
right now.
Yep, and I mean, we kind of took a look at the NFC North during the bye week episode, but it's I mean, there's some moving that might go on there for sure. But yeah, Linval was back out there again, of course.
He looked a little better today.
Yeah, he did. Rhodes went down during the game, kind of.
The Harrison Smith pick.
Yeah, when they collided there. Otherwise, I don't think anybody was really out per se. Thielen was the only one listed as doubtful, and Riley Reef was questionable, but I saw him out there, so I don't think there's really any other injuries going into this game to really mention either.
No, I think Xavier Rhodes' snap count might have taken a bit of a hit this week. I don't think it was injury related. From what I heard, they rotated a little more.
They really just rotated those corners.
I saw Mike Hughes out there quite a bit more today.
Yeah, apparently they were just flipping a rotation and like like one of those bars you walk through at the airport and it goes down and then the next person is almost, or like the rotating glass doors when you're like walking into a fancy restaurant. It's like we're just rotating corners. But
Holton Hill got some snaps after Rhodes had his injury.
Yeah, it seemed to work. It seemed to work out good.
Well, we were also facing a third-string quarterback.
Correct.
Albeit a third-string QB that looked decent against the Bears' defense on Thanksgiving Day.
Right. Now, is Sloter on the Lions, or was he?
He's the Lions' backup.
People were kind of chattering that we might face him today or see him today, but
it was possible for sure.
It was the guy that I know it's not pronounced blow, but you want to say blow.
Blow.
That's what he kind of did today. He looked bad right away, throwing into the line. Like he didn't even get to throwing past the line of scrimmage for his first two passes today.
The first two plays were both batted passes.
Yikes.
Yeah, Blau had a lot tougher game today than he did Thanksgiving.
I feel like this would have been a different game if Stafford was out there and they were healthy. It would have been a lot closer, but my God.
It's hard to say. I mean, maybe.
I mean, it's still almost hard to feel good about this game in a way. I remember them saying at a certain point that it was 15 first downs to 2 first downs, I think, in either the first or first 2 quarters. But yet it was only 7-0 at that point, and I was like, that's almost doesn't really make you feel as good.
I feel a little better about the defense, of course.
Oh, yeah, the defense had a much better game today.
The offense completely disappeared in the second half. I didn't like that.
Yep, switch flip. We can't fucking keep consistent.
Well, what happened to the halftime adjustments? I mean, normally I kind of felt like, with Zimmer, we're generally pretty good at halftime adjustments as the Vikings, but
that'll usually happen
today,
when we're down.
That didn't really happen.
That happens when we're down. When we come out good and we get ahead, we don't have any. There isn't as many adjustments to make. Versus we're down, we're getting gashed, blah 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 blah.
That's an interesting thought.
I don't know. It's just kind of in my mind. It's just like when we're doing good, we're leading, and the switch flip theory. It's that first half is the good half. Versus it being when the first half's the bad half, then you get the adjustments, you get the yelling at everybody. We come out and we might do something else.
So it's sort of like in that movie, The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane is fighting Batman for the first time, and Bane ends up saying, peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you. Like winning all the time made him weaker, was what he was saying.
Well, I wish that would happen to the fucking Patriots already. God damn it.
Well, not saying it happens to them. It's just that's the sentiment, right? Like there aren't as many adjustments to make at halftime if you're kicking
winning
a team's
and you're
ass.
Doing good. Correct.
So
what do you have to adjust?
So being that far ahead kind of made the Vikings weaker a little bit in the second half, sort of.
It was what, 17-0 or 20-0?
Yeah, it was 17-0 at halftime.
So it's not like we're sitting there going, "Oh man, this is this." We're like, "All right, we're doing good. We're shutting them out." And then maybe we started to coast a little bit. I don't know.
Well, the defense still played at a high level in the second half. I mean, the third quarter, it started with 4 straight 3-and-outs, 2 for us and 2 for them.
Mm-hmm. I know I was squeezing the juice to help us on third down, cheering on our team. But yeah.
So you want to talk about first the offense, the defense?
Kirk did look good today. On the offensive side of the ball, Kirk did look good, except for the one time he threw into a line and it bounced out to Bradbury.
And then Bradbury caught
Bradbury is an eligible receiver.
For the most part, Cousins had a efficient day today.
24 for 30, 242 yards, 1 TD, and technically no interceptions. But that was his only blemish, as they said in the post-game show that I was listening to on the radio. That was his only blemish anyway. So
yeah, Cousins played good, not great.
Right.
He had a good day.
Mm-hmm. knowing that another thing, it's like we were talking about the penalties and stuff earlier too, or this referee crew. We had more penalties and more yards against us too. That also makes me not feel as good about this game. Kind of like we had way more first downs, but weren't really making anything of it. We only made 7 points of it. It's kind of weird. But
Some of the penalties were deserved. Well, that roughing the passer they threw against Stephen Weatherly was absolutely ridiculous.
Money might have changed hands.
Yes, thank you.
I think money might have changed hands on that one. Man, yeah. So I'm driving in my car, listening to PA.
Oh, okay.
Going over to watch my game, and he makes a comment about how this referee crew. I forget the guy's name. Who gives a fuck?
Walt Anderson.
Who gives a shit what his name is? I don't care.
All right.
Fucking pointless individual to me. That crew hadn't refed a Vikings game yet this year. They've been in 2 Super Bowls. They're sticklers. They call the most pass interference on offense and defense and the most penalties in general by a mile, apparently. And I was like, oh, great. That's who the refs are today? Perfect. And you wouldn't say that they nitpicked us, but they did come out swinging with ticky-tacks.
They had a couple of ticky-tack penalties on both sides. The only really egregious one I remember is just that Stephen Weatherly. That was an awful roughing the passer penalty on Weatherly. That was so bogus.
Yeah, well, so this...
But it was just one penalty, I guess.
At least this crew isn't biased. They seem to be just consistently sticklers. They're not. They're hardcore. They see it. They're just throwing it.
Yeah,
they see it and they're throwing it.
The referee that
I'll let that one go.
Well, the referee I point to that I kind of wonder if he does play favorites a little bit would be Walt Coleman. Yeah, Walt Coleman was he was the referee involved in the Tom Brady Tuck rule playoff game.
Yeah, of course there's bias there, dude. What
there
the
was
fuck?
Well, there was that one. He was also the referee for that infamous 9 fourth quarter mistakes in Lambeau, Vikings Packers the year after that.
Yeah.
Now, Walt Coleman is a guy I've always kind of not been too sure about.
Yeah, fuck you, Walt.
Blow that whistle one more time, I'm gonna stick it up your fucking ass.
Who do you think's the best refereeing crew? Bill Vinovich, maybe?
Sure.
Okay.
Again, I don't know names. I don't give a fuck what these guys' names are, dude. I couldn't fucking care less. I'm not going to remember them anyway. I don't really care. Referees are the last thing on my mind and usually something that I think of with disdain and negativity. So,
well, 20 years
really
ago, I would have said the same thing, that I don't really remember referee names and doesn't seem like that big a deal to me.
But you've gotten used to it now.
In the last 20 years, though, the refereeing has gotten bad enough where I'm actually starting to think that maybe I should pay attention to the refereeing crews. I mean, like when you're thinking about DraftKings lineups and
that's true.
Stuff for fantasy, like you maybe want to...
Everything goes into account.
You want to try to keep an eye on the matchups as much as you can, and the refereeing has gotten so bad, it's become such a focal point. It's something to actually pay attention to now.
Like weather and
weather
health status and did they practice and everything else that can go into it.
Sure. It's another
Money
thing.
might have changed hands.
Absolutely.
Money might have changed hands as well. All right. Anyway, yeah. It was
the
a
running
good game.
wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
No, it wasn't. Delvin only had 62 yards with 18 carries. He only made 62 yards, averaging 3.4
yards. Yeah,
got to give a slight credit to the Lions D in that situation, right?
Even with the injuries they had, they were playing hard.
Did you just blame our scheming in our own line? It seemed really hard for us to run the ball today. It seemed like we were struggle busing just a little bit.
Well, it was a little more up and down. I mean, we would have a couple of 9-yard runs,
right,
and then there'd be a couple 2-yard runs in a row and everything. It might be a combination of both, really.
Yeah. Across the board, it just wasn't great. I mean, Madison got only 4 less carries at 14 and came up with 20 less yards, roughly, with 46. No TDs, averaged 3.3. Had a great little Superman jump.
He had a nice hurdle move, yeah.
I still love that dude. And maybe we can get a shout out from him coming up soon.
Cook and Madison were both still running hard.
Right.
I wouldn't blame them.
You could
so
look
much.
at our O-line, but
It was a nice gesture after Dalvin Cook got his touchdown that he gave the ball to Elflein and let him spike it.
yeah,
That was nice
cool.
of him.
That was cool.
That was cool.
We do need to build the morale of the Minnesota Moving Company, as they say, not just shit on them all the time, even though they're not amazing. And there's a lot of opinions floating out there around there about them, but we should try to homer them a little bit.
Well, another couple draft picks you invest in the line in a year or two, we legitimately could have the best offensive line in football.
God, I hope they don't go on social media, but if they do, you think they want to sit there and see all of it, all of us in Vikings Nation is calling, Elflein shitty or being like, I wish we wouldn't have drafted him or he's a bust or what have you. You think he looks at that? If he does, I hope he doesn't. But if he would, you think that would help him play better? It's gonna make him feel like shit.
Well, different people would probably react in different ways, I'm sure.
I highly doubt it's gonna make them play better. Seeing all of your fans shit on you because you aren't playing the greatest, usually that doesn't help the person play better.
Of course, we would all
regardless.
hope that they don't really care what social media says.
I hope they're not checking it. I know Kirk is a little bit, but man, he's just got nothing but shit on for the last pretty much since he signed that big contract. But he's been earning it. He's been earning it. As they said, been on fire since week 5. He has been earning it.
Well, he got a couple of really nice catches from Diggs to help him out today. Ooh,
Diggs looked
Diggs
great.
had a good day.
He was 6 for 9, 92 yards, 0 TDs, couple of wonderful fucking catches, long bomb, sideline catches, doing what he normally does, really.
Ola BC Johnson had a nice TD catch, a jumping
BC
grab.
looked great. Yep, BC looked great. And that was only the one target to him. He was 1 for 1 TD and 9 yards. That was the only time that we used him. Kirk was spreading the ball around, but we didn't use BC besides that.
It would have been nice to see, 3 or 4 catches or something. I'd like to see BC get a few more chances with Thielen out.
Yeah, it's he would be up there too, getting thrown to if he was playing Thielen. But it was definitely a day of spreading the ball around. But kind of a surprising number 2 and 3 spot for receiving yards. Who do you think got the second most receiving yards after Diggs? 'Cause I think it
Tyler
would surprise
Conklin.
you. Nope. It's a wide receiver.
Treadwell.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 for 2. A guy that was 2 for 2 with 42 yards is in the number 2 slot. That's how much we spread the ball around, besides Diggs dominating a little bit. CJ Ham is in the 3rd position, 1 for 1 with 25 yards. Love to see Ham out there cooking up some Thanksgiving Christmas ham.
Yeah, I love watching CJ Ham bowl over people.
They were trying to get it to Irv Smith got the second most targets, but only came up with 21 yards. He was 3 for 4 and 21 yards. Madison 2 for 2, Delvin 2 for 2.
Yeah, there was a tight end screen to him that didn't work, that's for sure.
Conklin was 3 for 3. He did get the 3rd most targets with 3. He was 3 for 3, only 13 yards. So we were trying to get it to him, but
that was the offensive play calling. That was one time that left me scratching my heads. I think it was the last play of the first quarter, because we had, I think, run the football on first down. And we could have just let it run to the end of the quarter, which is what I thought we would do. And the Vikings went hurry up to try to get one last play in before the end of the first quarter.
Right.
But it was a tight end screen that ended up losing, I think, 3 yards. I didn't get the play call. I mean, hurrying up like that and calling a play like a screen when the defense is going to be a little slower to react anyway, like to begin with, because they're hurrying up and everything. I thought if you were going to hurry up there, you would do another running play, try to catch them flat-footed and run at them again, maybe.
Right.
That was one play call on the offensive side that I was kind of like, what? Like, I thought they would just let it tick to the end of the first quarter. But whatever, it's a pretty minor nitpick.
This is still Stefanski's first full year, too, to keep in mind. So,
well, as a play caller, yes.
Correct. As an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yes. I know there was another time, too, where we were really close. I think we were like 4th and 1 in the red zone, and we just gave it to CJ, and he just kind of just ran up the middle and got stuffed immediately.
Well,
remember that?
it was third down. We
Third?
gave it to Ham, and
Yeah.
he didn't get it, and then we
kicked
were
the
going to go for it.
Yeah, but then
And
we
we
kicked the field
handed
goal,
off
right?
to Dalvin, and he would have got it, but the offense didn't set for 1 second before the snap.
Yeah,
So there was that 5-yard penalty, and then we were forced to
kick a field goal.
kick the field goal.
Right.
There was some good offensive play calling in this game for the most part.
I feel like that was a little too predictable.
The
Whenever I see us try to run up the middle and it just gets stuffed horribly and doesn't go anywhere, it's like, couldn't we have done something else there?
It's easy to second guess after the fact. I mean, usually giving it to C.J. Ham, you'd like to think he could fall forward for a yard. He's a bigger guy.
True.
Um,
But they're going to see it coming. All they do is load up that middle right there.
Well, and there was
And if
also
we didn't move.
a 3rd and 1 in the game where we play actioned it and threw it to Kyle Rudolph for like 6 or 7 yards.
That's what I like to see.
Well, you can't call a play action every single
No.
time on 3rd and 1 either.
No,
I mean,
you shouldn't call a run every time either.
Well, no, to keep it unpredictable, you kind of need to do a mix, which I think they did.
All right.
So
All right.
I will somewhat defend the C.J. Ham handoff on that 3rd and 1.
Oh, yeah? No, I hear you. It's just disappointing to watch us try to run up the middle. And again, that could come back to the O-line a little bit too, our O-line a little bit too, not doing as well as they potentially could.
Well, and there were some times where it worked too. I mean,
Right.
largely on 2nd and 1. I think 2nd and 1 seemed to be when they were handing off up the middle and it was working more often. We were
Right.
getting first downs here and there.
Mm-hmm. It is kind of funny that they credited Bradbury with...
Well, he caught the ball. It
But
counts as
that's not a
catch.
target. It hit a defender and then bounced to him. How is that a target? They gave him one target, one reception for -4 yards. How is that a receiving stat line? though?
That's an anomaly.
It should be like it should almost be counted a fumble recovery or something.
Well, the Detroit Lion defender should probably be credited with a target
with
from
the catch.
Kirk Cousins. Well, not a catch, but a target.
Right.
His Cousins threw it right at him.
It bounced off of his bread basket. Bounced right out of his bread basket. All right. Any other final words for our offense or offensive line?
Just that they started the game reasonably well and then kind of went out with a fizzle in the second half, which I don't like.
Correct.
We can talk about the defense.
We can talk about the defense because the defense is, well, worth talking about. Besides setting that record for little Danielle, man, we had, 5 sacks in this game? I mean, not
off the
quite
top of my head, I can't remember the exact number.
It is 5.
It is, okay.
Not quite 10 like we had, in that game last year, but, you know.
Oh, yep, there it is, 5 sacks.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Danielle got 3, man.
Jaleel
3
Johnson had a sack.
Hunter was playing out of his mind. 3 sacks, 3 tackle for losses on top of that.
Well, he had
My
7
Lord.
tackles total. I mean, he was defending the run also.
Well,
he's a complete player.
He's credited for 6 tackles and 1 assist, yes.
Oh, okay.
6 and 1.
All right.
Don't lead the people
Well,
wrong, Hammer.
6 solo tackles.
Correct, and then 1
yeah.
assisted tackle. I'm assuming that's what A means.
You're such a nitpicker over there.
Just trying to give the people the right information. God.
All right, fair enough.
God, man.
As I was watching the game, I felt like Danielle Hunter was probably going to get my game ball. I didn't know it was episode 99 and all that good stuff, but yeah, Danielle Hunter
set the
is
record. You knew that.
I knew that, but Danielle Hunter's the man of the hour today.
Totally, 100%, man. I mean, he's always been great, but you really got to appreciate him.
He seems to just feast on the Detroit Lions for some reason.
He just goes to eat, picks up his fork, and he goes, "There's Thanksgiving dinner for me." Harry the Hitman had a tackle for loss. Where are my interceptions? There they are. Let's actually touch on those first. Sendejo had a pick
to end the game
and a pass deflected. Harry had a pick and 2 passes deflected. Shamar Stephan and Mike Hughes also both had a pass deflected. So, yeah, 2 picks in this game. Fantastic. Yes, Sendejo rounded it out at the end.
Very
That's
nice.
the second pick for him since he's came back. I like to see that. Don't mind the guy. Not necessarily our best player on the field, but always solid. But solid dude, knows this team. Don't mind having him back at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good stuff. Let's see here. Of course, Griff was out there getting a sack and a tackle for loss. Jaleel Did I Do That Johnson was out there with a sack and a tackle for loss. Yeah, I think that's about it for the notable stats for the defense.
I think one of the biggest things of this game for the D-line, I thought Linval Joseph finally is starting to
get back to form.
Look like he might be 100%. I wonder if he was maybe playing hurt a little bit before.
Probably.
It's
at least
possible.
Not 100% anyway.
But Linval Joseph, I thought he looked back to a little more back to normal today, which is big for the run D, of course.
Hammer likey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, when he was out, I didn't feel like that's going to totally kill us. The teams are just going to gash us. Obviously, we want him in there. This D line's so good. I don't worry too much when somebody has to sit. We got some great backups.
We have depth.
Some great rotational.
D line has
man.
very good depth.
Does not make me worry. It doesn't make me worry, dude. But it's good to see him back, and yeah, hopefully he will for sure be 100% soon if he's not already. But yeah. Any other words on the D? Besides, they were kind of back to form.
The defensive line definitely won the battle against Detroit's O-line today.
I think they had some people hurt, but yes.
Yeah, the Lions,
at least two, I think, O-linemen hurt, I think.
It was at least one
two.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there was a defensive lineman I know that got hurt for them too.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared Davis, the linebacker, he got hurt. The Lions had some tough injury luck today. That definitely didn't help them.
I think even coming into this game, they had a couple of people that weren't starting, that would have normally been starting, like on the O-line. So
I'm blanking on that. You might be right.
Hey, man, I just try to go by what the commentators say and remember it for the podcast. All right, so moving on then, of course, Dan Bailey, 2 for 2, did a nice 50, 2 for 2 on extra points, looking good, back to form, looking accurate, no worries there. That's nice to not have a worry there, my God.
It's nice to have some nice kicking for once.
I haven't really been thinking about that lately, which is a good thing. Whenever it comes time for us to kick a field goal and we're actually worried if we're going to get it or not, like we've been there. We've gone through those games and months and seasons. I feel like that worry is kind of behind us now, besides me just bringing it up. Otherwise, that worry is a thing of the past. Thank God. All right.
Kendricks had another great day again.
He did.
As usual.
Solid.
Barr had a decent game, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Any other final marks? Will I bring up the insights here?
The secondary played one of its better games of the year. Trying to think here, because Mike Hughes looked pretty much unbeatable all day, I thought.
Yeah, it's good to see him out there. Doing good too.
Cutting Xavier Rhodes' snaps, I think, helped. That was a good thing.
Boyd. What about Boyd out there?
Well, he was mostly on special teams.
Yeah, he's looking like a good gunner. I hear people say he's looking like a pretty good gunner this season.
I believe
it.
He
was out there today doing some.
Well, he made one nice tackle today on a punt.
Yes.
It was like a clothesline style tackle.
That was it. He did. He did that WWE clothesline.
I mean, he isn't really getting any snaps on defense yet.
No.
That's kind of how it goes the first year usually with the Zimmer D. I mean, Trey Waynes was a first-round pick, and in his rookie year, he didn't play all that much in the base D. He was more of a special teams.
It's almost like a rite of passage
also.
in a way. It's almost like a rite of passage in a way. They just we kind of warm people up
a little bit
in special teams.
Sure.
Or just if some people is a good special teamer, we could just primarily keep them over there.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at Sherrill's pretty much on special teams his whole life, rarely played corner. You know, there's some people that Curse, I think, has been on special teams more than he's played regular snaps still to this day, even though he's getting plenty of normal non-special teams.
That number is evening out a bit.
It is, but I still bet it's slightly tipped to his special teams days because he's done it a lot.
Well, those guys definitely did a good job against Marvin Jones today and Kenny Galladay, the garbage time touchdown notwithstanding.
Yeah, we do that a lot. I kind of thought that was going to happen, and it did.
Well, after that 4-touchdown performance Marvin Jones had against us earlier this year, I think Zimmer was kind of game planning things up. Like, these two guys are not going to beat us today.
Good. Good.
Well, that's a luxury I think you have if you're playing against a team that doesn't run the ball that well.
Right.
I mean, this wasn't like the Ezekiel Elliott game where we were just sending guys
Like
to the
Zeke,
box
we need to
like
stop
crazy.
Stop Zeke.
Yeah, we weren't just game planning to stop Bo Scarborough and Ty Johnson or whatever.
Their
were
starting running back, it wasn't even out there. Is there another guy that they really want out there, but he's hurt right now or something?
Yeah, they had a running back that I'm blanking on his name.
I want to
now,
say
too.
not Williams, but
who is he? Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm sure someone on Twitter will let us know what running back is injured for them. That was their starter earlier in the year. The Vikings weren't game planning to stop Bo Scarborough or whatever. They were game planning to stop Galladay and Marvin Jones, and we just happened to stop their running game anyway because they're not that good of a running team.
Right. Yeah, it was a good defensive performance for sure. The Lions have now lost 5 straight games to the Vikings. It is their longest losing streak versus Minnesota since a 6-game streak between 2007 and 2010.
That's ownage.
A little bit.
That's us owning them.
A little bit.
In recent history. Very nice.
The Vikings, now I know how the Packers feel against us back in the day. The Vikings are now 7-0 this season against teams that are currently below 500, and we're 2-4 versus teams above 500. So we're still not looking too hot there, but oh well. Those stats, man, a lot of people put a lot of clout into those stats. It's just a fucking stat, man. I saw, you know how people say Kirk is like, oh, can't win in prime time or Monday night and this and that. There was somebody on Twitter who was like, yeah, well, these 2 quarterbacks, and I forget their names, are like combined 2-11 on Monday night, and both of them won a Super Bowl. So that stat's fucking worthless. It's like, yep, you're right. I mean, people put so much clout in their stats.
That's
sometimes.
tough to argue with. The Lions running back we were thinking of was Kerryon Johnson, by the way.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
That's it. Correct. Yeah. Danielle Hunter was the second Vikings player with 3+ sacks in the first half since 1982, Jared Allen.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
A single player to get three or more sacks in the first half of a game since 1982, which was Jared Allen. That's pretty cool.
Jared Allen did that in 1982?
That's what it says, man.
Oh, wow.
I
didn't realize we had him that long.
I didn't either, but that's what I'm just reading NFL.com's insights, man.
I wonder if there was some other Viking player named Jared Allen back in the day. And
I was gonna say Jared Allen. Jared Allen was born in 1982. Maybe they're talking about his birthday, not the year he did it.
That would make zero sense.
Hey, man, I'm just reading it.
Okay.
I'm
not blaming you.
He was the second Viking. I'll read it again.
Okay.
Danielle Hunter was just the second Vikings player with 3.0 plus sacks in a first half since 1982. And then it has bracket, Jared Allen, bracket, period.
Interesting.
So maybe there was another player named Jared Allen who was playing for us in 1982. Maybe you should.
Yeah, I'm on my
your computer Medor over there.
Yeah, let's see.
Maybe you should get on that, man, because
I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's not like NFL.com can't have a fuck up on their website, because they can. Oh boy, they can. Anyway, I think that while Hammer looks that up, I think that about wraps up the game anyway. It was a solid game, kind of boring to watch in a way, at the same time, mildly entertaining. 20-7, can't argue with that. Some exciting plays, good defensive stands, good defensive plays, a little bit of everything. But the first half was not super exciting.
I'm sorry. I'm starting to think that might have been a mess up on what you were. On Pro Football Reference's website, there's only one player it could find named Jared Allen that.
And he would be the one to get 3 sacks in a half.
Yeah.
I know it's that Jared Allen. I just don't know why they have bracket 1982. Bracket Jared Allen after saying 1982. But it must have been Jared Allen. But they just have the year wrong. Maybe 1992? No, wouldn't have been then either because you would have been 10 years old.
2012
Even I'm not that
would have
stupid.
been.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, I don't get that. Okay.
Whatever, NFL.com. You know where you can stick it.
Blow that whistle one more time, I'm gonna stick it up your fucking ass.
All right. Anyway, how's your fantasy doing? I know in your league I've just given up and I don't care.
Well, I've had a tough year. I think it's a 12-team league we're in, that me and you are in. I think I'm 4th or 5th in points on the season out of the 12 teams, but I'm 4-9.
Yes, you are 4-9.
Yeah,
you are 4-9. Well, at least it's not 1-4 like
I've been facing all the wrong people at the wrong times. My points against is one of the most in our league. So I've mostly just run into matchup issues because my team itself is doing okay, but shoot, man,
just that little dash of bad luck.
Yeah, I've faced a lot of, like, that week that Diggs went off against the Eagles and had 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I was facing the guy that had him that day, I remember, and it was all sorts of that. But I beat you, so I guess it all evens out.
Well, it's kind of funny. I'm like 8-2 or whatever in my other league. Let me look.
I think my league might be the more competitive one.
Probably, but I also auto-drafted in yours. I actually drafted in the other one. My team's solid. I've had some luck in my corner, obviously, to get to where I'm at. I've only had 2 losses in that other league.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm on a bye week in our playoffs for the first week of our playoffs, which is right now, which is this week. So I didn't even have to play today in that other league. In yours, I'm probably going to get a win, but it'll be like my second win, and I just already threw in the towel on that. I'll probably try to actually do a live draft next year. I'll probably play in both again next year and try harder in that Yahoo one of yours. I'm not a big fan of Yahoo, but I'll try. For good old Uncle Hammer over here, I'll try.
I'm like not even a year and a half older than you. Uncle Hammer?
Good old Uncle Hammer.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
All right. Anyway, any final words about the game from today?
I think we pretty much covered it. Well, I guess one last note, just that the 2-minute offense for the Vikings this year, that's something we haven't really discussed a ton, like specifically, but just in an under the radar way, the Vikings' time management on offense for their 2-minute drill has been really good this year.
Hey, that's
cool. We got the ball back with 1:10 left after that missed field goal in the first half. Took it right down the field for a TD. The Vikings 2-minute drill has been really good this year. That's something just off the top of my head. One last thing to say, I guess.
All right, cool. Well, let's go to our score prediction game and look into the future. Look ahead at week 15.
Oh, the Chargers.
Season's almost winding down, bro.
Well, it's your turn to go first.
It is. I won the last 2 score prediction games. You went first via text because we technically didn't get to do it on the last episode.
Yeah, but I texted you and said, well, it's my turn to go first. So here's my...
Correct.
So anyway, your turn to go first. You're up by 2.
I'm up, man.
Going into the last 3 games.
That feels good.
Ugh.
You got to win 1, then I'm up by 1, then you got to win another one, and then you got to win another one.
Yeah.
Man, if it comes down to that last game again,
I've been slumping this last month.
I kind of hope it doesn't come down to it. Like, that makes it exciting to come down to a tie for the last game. Super exciting.
Last year it came down to the last game.
It came down to that, but I was
and you would
behind
come
the
back
whole
from
time.
like 3 down or whatever to tie it. And
Right.
then, so I guess it is possible. But anyway, your turn to go first.
That does make for entertaining pod carding, but I kind of hope I just coast into a win here, obviously.
I don't want to buy you a sub. I want you to buy me a sub.
So
let's do this.
December 15th, 3:05 Central on your local NBC station, not Fox.
NBC?
It says NBC, man.
No, it's not NBC.
I'm on Vikings.com, motherfucker.
It still says NBC because it got flexed.
Oh, okay.
It was going to be the Sunday night game, but it got flexed out of that
right.
spot.
You're right.
It's not NBC. It's going to be
Fox.
Probably Fox.
It's got to be. For a 3, it's got to be Fox.
Maybe CBS. I don't know.
You're right. If it's not the 7, it's not going to be NBC. Yeah, it could be CBS too. Correct. All right. Yeah, so 3:05 p.m.
What say you, A-Train?
The Chargers. We are going to the Chargers, and then we end at home for the last 2. God, I love that. I fucking love that. And we'll be at the Bears game, obviously. All right, the Chargers. Man, I haven't watched them much. I know they're not amazing. I've heard Phillip Rivers isn't doing amazing this year either. I'm going to say I doubt their defense is as good as ours. I think it's okay, kind of okay. I'm going to say that, obviously I'm picking the Vikings to win because I'm not a rube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a homer. Wait, no, that would make me a homer. Shit.
Not necessarily.
Fuck, Vikings always win.
If it's a reasonable pick or whatever, then
if you
I
go
would
back
say
and look at our prediction game the whole time we've been playing it, I don't think I've ever picked the other team to win.
I think you've picked the Vikings every game this year, yeah.
Well, and I also like to try to be as opposite of you as possible for the sake of playing the game, not just be super close or super similar, because what's the fucking point to pick practically the same thing?
It's been paying off for you the last month.
So I try to separate myself. So that's also why when you pick the other team, I'm always picking the Vikings in hopes that we do, and it helps me in the game.
Well, I've only picked against the Vikings a couple times. I picked against the Vikings in Soldier Field.
Yep.
And I was right. I picked, let's see, I think I picked the Chiefs to beat the Vikings in Kansas City. I was right. I picked the Cowboys to beat the Vikings on the road. I was wrong about that one. I picked against the Seahawks. Or I picked against us in the Seahawks game.
I am going to say, I'm going to do I like this. It gives credit on both sides. I want to say, I'm going to say for the Vikings win 30. I say that we're going to score 30.
Okay.
I'm going to say 30, and then I'm going to say that the Chargers are going to do, because I think we're going to be back to a little bit better form with our offensive line clicking next week. I'm going to say 30, and then Thielen probably won't be back, but I'm going to say that the Chargers, I want to say 20, but I want to vary that a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to give the Chargers, you know what? I'm going to give the Chargers 20.
So I'm
going to say 30
to 20?
Kind of a cliche fucking 10-point spread with us up, but I'm going to say 30 to 20.
Okay.
Vikings, 30.
I'm going to go a little lower scoring on that.
Okay.
I'm also predicting a Vikings win.
Mix it up, all right.
I'm going to say the Vikings win this game 23-16. I'll say a one touchdown win.
All right.
I'll say 23-16.
I was going to say 17, but I like how different enough that those two predictions are. I like a little spread in our predictions. So all
right, A-Train's going for the win, and I'm going for trying to stay alive.
Well, that's actually true. If I win this, we might as well not even play.
You clinch it.
It's done.
Yeah, you'd clinch it if you
come
win.
Back. I got the feeling I won't. I have a weird feeling that I probably won't clinch here. And then I could either do it in the Packer game or it'll come down to the last game, which will be exciting, but I want to win. But yeah. All right. Yeah, so it's week 15, of course, is the Chargers. Then it's the Pack. Then it's the Bears. So interesting end of the season. All three of these are winnable. Today was obviously winnable. We did it. The rest of the three of these are definitely winnable. Packers are not as good as people think they are.
I think we're going to win all three.
I think we will too.
Yeah.
I think we will too. Yes, the Packers are a threat. Yes, the Bears are a threat. I'm really not that threatened by the Chargers, to be honest. Out of those three teams, I'm more threatened by our two NFC North rivals.
That's probably fair.
But, hey, man, I'm no analyst. I'm no professional, but I try to just be fair and reasonable. I might be off base quite a bit, but I try to be fair and reasonable.
That's all I ever do.
All right. I think that's about it. So we got the score prediction set. Our game ball went to Mr. Hunter. Any other final words? We're at the 73-minute mark.
Oh, wow. No, we can wrap it up right here.
All right. Be sure to thank you for listening. I really appreciate you listening, especially if you're from Norway or Australia. And everybody.
Yeah, go Norway.
Skol Vikings. And, of course, everybody here in the United States, all over the globe. It is kind of cool to see, though, some orders come in from different countries, listeners in different countries. That's super, super fun to see. We do appreciate you. We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you, for our listeners. So, and don't forget to check out purplepainforums.com. Go to the giveaway, odinsinpodcast.com/giveaway. That's not linked anywhere else. You just have to type it in. It's not even on the site anywhere. Just type it in. And you can enter for the fan chest, and we will ship it to you. If I can ship it to you, I can't guarantee international shipping, but I should be able to make whoever wins get it to them. They'll be randomly chosen on the 13th. Yeah, check us out online, odinsdenpodcast.com. We got our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter. Of course, we got our shirt designs. Again, they're on sale right now on TeePublic. I do have links to that on our Facebook and Twitter, and you might even see an ad going for that on our Instagram and our Facebook. So yeah, so those are like $14 for the next, there's an hour, I think like the next 10 hours, something like that. It might end tonight at midnight. I'm not 100% sure. That was winding down, but it was going for a while. But yeah, check out our designs. We got Getting Diggy with It. Let's Get Cooking. Walk Into a Bar, of course, with Anthony Barr. Clotheslining. A bear and a Packer player. A bear and a lion. Yeah, a bear and a lion.
There's a bear and a
actually.
lion.
A bear and a lion. Packer just didn't fit. I like the walk into a bar. A bear and a lion walk into a bar. Kind of like that old joke setup. Versus, it just kind of didn't feel as smooth trying to wedge Packer or Packers in there, even though we hate them the most. But yeah, check out our shirt designs. Holy shirt. Check them out online. And check out this next game coming up. But yeah, I think that's about it. Any other final words? Hammer.
Hammer out.
Hammer out. Have a good rest of your December 8th week. Have fun at your Christmas party. And make sure that you're being good for Santa Claus. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Odin's Den. Be sure to follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. Get all of the latest at odinsdenpodcast.com. Skol!
Hammer likey.